going to show you how to make your own sweet potato slips. You do not need to go buy them from the store. If you have some organic sweet potatoes, these are just leftover sweet potatoes from our garden this past year. So I'm just going to be using these. See how it's already sprouting? We're just going to take advantage of that. Let me show you how. I cut off just a couple inches from that sprouty end of the potato. I'm just going to put it in the jar. You could put toothpicks on to hold it up if it doesn't stay up out of the water, but this one might. Just if I just kind of hook it over like that. Or you can do like what I did here. I put toothpicks in it, and then that kind of holds it out of the water. So like this one's been in there for a few weeks, and this one's sprouting nicely. And then you take a little sprig off after it's grown for a few weeks. You can break it off and put it in the water. And then, if I can get it out of here, in a couple days, it will form its own roots on there. Look at that. Isn't that so incredible? So when you break them off, you just come over here right to the edge and you snap them off. This one's not quite ready, so I don't want to snap it off. You want them like 16 inches tall. So I did end up putting this with toothpicks around it, and then I will just fill the water up till about almost right below the toothpicks.
Yes.
You can also do this and put them, you know, in a bowl of water. That also works. They're just going to try to grow towards the lake. This is probably not the best solution, but since I have so many, I just stuck a whole bunch in a bowl of water, and they're doing their thing currently. Now, I'll be able to use the rest of the sweet potato. I'm just going to bake it up. It does have some holes in it, but I think those will come right out once I peel it. Like, I'll wrap it in foil and bake it, and then the skin will come off and those little dots will just come right out, or I'll chop them out. These will just keep sitting in my sunny windowsill, growing more slips until spring, really. Once they're rooted, I can put them in dirt if I want to, or they can just sit in the water for a while. I just need to keep the water clean, you know, changing it once a week or so, and they'll be fine. And then once it's warm enough, I can plant them out and let them do their thing and grow into sweet potato plants. So this is just a really cool way to save money. I know, like, buying them from the store or like from the feed store, for me, it was like 25 of them for $8 or so. You can get a sweet potato for not very much, especially if you're already eating sweet potatoes and maybe they've already started sprouting on you like mine have in my box. And then you can just make your own for basically nothing. So, and once you have your own sweet potatoes, just save a few for the next year and get them started. Just make sure you do the end that actually sprouts, because when I first did this, I thought both ends sprouted, and they don't. One end refused to sprout because I chopped the potato in half, and one end refused to sprout, and the other end did. Also last year, I took these sweet potatoes that were all done sprouting and I put them in my compost pile, and then they kept growing. And I took slips off of that and planted them in my garden, and they produced a whole bunch more sweet potatoes. So it kind of just keeps going. I do not always have success growing sweet potatoes, but most of the time it's not because I didn't start with good slips. Most of the time it's because the voles have eaten them, and, well, the voles and the groundhogs are my biggest nemesis of growing sweet potatoes. And once I get rid of those two, then I can grow some pretty good sweet potatoes most of the time. But the years that I have those problems, I don't get any sweet potatoes. I do have several videos on my channel of fails and successes of sweet potato harvests. Basically every year that I've tried growing sweet potatoes, which has been since 2019, I have tried growing sweet potatoes, and I've made a video about whether they failed or won. Most of the time. Well, probably half the time they've failed. But I've gotten some really good harvests too. This past year, well over 100 pounds of sweet potatoes. So definitely a win. So I'll link those videos down below in the description box, and you can check them out when you're done here. It just kind of talks about how I was growing the sweet potatoes and even how to harvest them most of the time. So yeah, go check those out. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Quick and easy way to start sweet potato slips. And if you live in the South, I'm in South Carolina, so spring will come and I'll be able to plant these in mid-May. I have plenty going right now. I probably started them a little too early, but if you're starting now, this is a great time to start them. So find some organic sweet potatoes and get your sweet potato slips going. Let me know if you try this and how it turns out for you, or if you've done this before, or maybe a different method, and what works for you. Or maybe you just buy yours. That's fine too. Whatever works. As long as you're able to grow some sweet potatoes and get a good harvest, that's good. But I hope this helps you be able to save a few dollars maybe and make your own sweet potatoes. See you next time.